All right. This next one I'm going to do for you is another original song. And this is one I wrote for the veterans. I have a friend who's a pastor, and he did a couple of tours in Afghanistan as an Army chaplain. And came home and really had some struggles, like a lot of veterans do, readjusting to civilian life and dealing with PTSD. And so talking with him about that one afternoon and hearing him tell me the statistic that I did not know at that time, and these days a lot more people know it. It's still a bad statistic, and it's one we need to deal with, but that 22 veterans a day take their own lives because they just can't cope with readjusting, and that really struck me. And so I wrote a song about it. This song is called Dogs of War. What's a soldier to do when the fighting is through and the dogs of war quit snarling? Take me back to the farm where I lay down my arms and get lost in yours, my darling. But you say that I'm distant. Sometimes you wonder if I'd rather be back overseas. It's not that I miss it, but at least over there I knew what was expected of me. They call it PTSD. Happy called it shell shock. I made it home on a plane. My buddy came in a box, and it was draped in a flag, colors red, white, and blue. Guessed in on my own 2 feet, honey, I'll carry you. He stood by the highway with his thumb pointed north, his eyes pointed south toward the ground. He wore a camouflage coat that was covered in dust, and he looked up as I slowed down. He threw his pack in the bed, he climbed in the cab. I asked him where he was bound. He said, I'm pretty sure that I'm headed for hell, but you can just drop me at the next town. We call it PTSD. Happy called it shell shock. Made it home on a plane. My buddy came in a box, and it was draped in a flag, colors red, white, and blue. Can't stand on my own 2 feet, buddy, I'll carry you. Soldier is tough, a warrior's brave. He's trained to put fear on a shelf. But don't forget when you see that lost look in his eye, he's trained not to ask you for help. Now the family's all here, the car is waiting, as I slowly put on my dress blues. And I stare in the mirror as I wrestle this necktie, make sure there's a shine on my shoes. And I drop to my knees, I cry out to heaven, Lord Jesus, help me find a way. Keep my brothers in arms, taking their own lives at the pace of 24 a day. They call it PTSD, Pappy called it shell shock. I made it home on a plane, now I'm toting this box, and it's draped in a flag, colors red, white, and blue. It's stand on my own 2 feet, brother, I'll carry you. Thank you. Yep. Dogs of War. This song's going to sound like another one at first, but it's not that song. I was hauling logs 10 years ago. on the floor and dust was flying through the lumber yard. Lights are flashing on two black cars. I said, Sheriff, I ain't done nothing wrong. He just knocked me down and put the handcuffs on. I was framed. They took me away like I was the only one to blame. Framed, guilty, they said. Railroaded me on a one-way train. I was framed. On Judgment Day, they want me to hang my head in shame, but I was framed. That's all I'll say. Don't be running down my name. I was framed. Joe cried through the glass at the murder trial where I seen her laugh. I loved that woman, but now she's free. She turned away when they sentenced me, and the guilty man ain't never told. 10 years later they put me on the road. I always say that I got screwed, but I'm a brand new man with the same attitude. I was framed. Away like I was the only one to blame. Framed, guilty, they said. Railroaded me on a one-way train. I was framed. And on Judgment Day, they want me to hang my head in shame, but I was framed. That's all I'll say. So don't be running down my name. I was framed. Guilty man paid long ago. He's the same man. Got laid low and he took my wife. He was hellbound. Even if I did gun him down, I was framed. They took me away like I was the only one to blame. Framed, guilty, they said. Railroaded me on a one-way train. I was framed. Judgment Day, they want me to hang my head in shame, but I was framed. That's all I'll say. And don't be running down my name. I was framed. You know I was framed. Tell you boys I was framed. Thank you. All right. This is another original song. If I had a magic hat, I'd be in the money. Wave my wand, roll up my sleeve and give a little wave. I'd reach down in my magic hat, pull out a jar of honey. Say that goes to show you, things ain't always what you think. Rode down to Birmingham to see my sweet Ramona. Found her on the front porch in her mama's rocking chair. White sundress and in her hair scarlet red begonia. I just drove away, she never knew that I was there. If I had a magic hat, I'd be in the money. Wave my wand, roll up my sleeve and give a little wink. I'd reach down in that magic hat, pull out a jar of honey. Say that goes to show you, things ain't always what you think. My old man man was tough as nails, everybody knew it. He started shoveling coal, he was barely 17. We thought he was invincible, but in the end he blew it. I'm trying to chart a different path, but it might be in my genes. If I had a magic hat, I'd be in the money. Wave my one roll on my sleeve and give a little wink. I'd reach down in that magic hat, pull out a jar of honey. Say that goes to show you, things ain't always what you think. If you want to see the Lord, you better go to preaching and live up to the good things they will write upon your grave. At least it seems to me that that's what everybody's teaching, except the one who said, believe in me and you'll be saved. If I had a magic hat, I'd be in the money. Wave my one roll up my sleeve and give a little wink. I'd reach down in that magic hat, pull out a jar of honey. Say that goes to show you, things ain't always what you think. Once upon a time, there was a fairy tale ending. I came here to tell you life don't always go as planned. Open up your eyes and find a truth that's worth defending, or in the end you'll see that it was all just sleight of hand. If I had a magic hat, I'd be in the money. Wave my one roll on my sleeve and give a little wink. I'd reach down in that magic hat, pull out a jar of honey. Say that goes to show you, things ain't always what you think. Thank you. Alright, this is going to be a blast from the past. You all probably know this song, especially if you grew up in the 80s.